having obviously that some people might think the relative comfort of sort of working with a bunch of marketeers, and it probably isn't total comfort, but what attracted you to sort of being the first marketeer for a company in the first place, then?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it kind of goes back to coming from a really strong specialist background in content marketing and copywriting originally. So when I started at Supermetrics, my title was content marketing manager. But then after about a year, I moved to a more generalist demand gen role. And so as the marketing team grew and we hired more people, it felt like pretty soon I would be faced with the decision of, okay, do I want to specialize again, even though I'm just branching off into this more generalist realm. And I would have to kind of just pick a lane and stick with it for a while, which didn't excite me as much. And then while we were hiring, we also made a couple of key hires, really awesome people like head of brand, head of product marketing. And those are the other two things that are really close to my heart in addition to content. So then it just felt like I would no longer have kind of the influence over those things that I used to have influence over. And I know there's this whole Molly Graham thing that she always says that you need to let go of your Legos in a startup and all that. Which I generally agree with. But for me, I was I'm just not ready to let other kids play with my Legos just yet. I want to hold on to them. And I think that's okay too. I think it just comes down to knowing where you are at your career and what you want to do. So yeah, you just have to kind of think that I had just moved away from content marketing, and the thought of having to specialize again into something else maybe felt a bit intimidating. It just didn't feel right.
No, fair enough. And you do see that as sort of companies grow their marketing functions, the jobs become a lot more compartmentalized.
Yeah.
You're going from quite broad roles into, okay, well, this is your remit and there's somebody else doing that, there's somebody else doing this. So you are, I wouldn't say necessarily always in a box, but it does become a little bit more like that.
Yeah, and it's hard when you've worked on the most recent brand renewal and defined the tone of voice, and then you find out that we're going into an entirely different direction. And it's fine. It's how companies evolve, and honestly no hard feelings or anything. But you have to also kind of just be okay, gut check, does this feel right for me at this moment? And if it doesn't, it's totally cool. But what I will add to that, it wasn't just push. I wasn't looking to leave Supermetrics at all. It's people were you're an idiot for leaving. It's going so well. You guys just got funding. It's going so well. Yeah. And I wasn't looking for anything. It's just that this kind of fell into my lap. And after talking to Otto, the founder and CEO of Swarmia, I was just actually I'd be really silly to say no, because the product is just so cool and it's so different from all the competitors. And it's just there's something there that I knew almost immediately after the first 30 minutes of talking to Otto that I needed to do.